although most of it is makikita natin sa NCR plus areas, tumama na po tayo to more than 200%. In fact, by the account of Secretary Duque in the Talk to People kagabi, sinabi po niya, we are 448% po ang ating 2-week growth rate. So, patuloy po ang panawagan natin dun sa mask, hugas, iwas, plus bakuna, and in workplaces and business establishments, public places, good, better, best ventilation, kung maaari, the best type of ventilation that you can. Let's also be mindful of that.
Opo. Third question mula po kay Sam Medanilla ng Business Mirror, reaction daw po ng pala sa pag-drop kay EJ Obiano from the National Pool of Athletes by Batafa.
We continue
From the National Pool of Athletes by Batafa.
We continue to support all of our athletes, including our star pole vaulters, EJ Obiana. And we hope that whatever disagreements that he may have or between EJ and the Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association, hopefully they will all be threshed out. Now, for the allegations of fund misuse and other such allegations, documents, we have been told, have already been sent to the Philippine Sports Commission and the Commission on Audit, so let us await further development in that regard, or if they will issue a statement on that matter.
Thank you, Sec. Karlo.
Thank you. Let's go to Mela Lesmoras of PTV.
Hi, good afternoon, Secretary Nogales at sa ating mga panauhin. Secretary Nogales, unahin ko lang po yung alert level system. Since yun nga, alert level 3 na ang NCR at iba pang mga karatig probinsya, bilang proactive measure at parang habang hindi pa talaga kumakalat yung Omicron variant sa buong Pilipinas, are we eyeing o napag-uusapan na po ba sa IATF na isa-ilalim na rin yung buong bansa sa alert level 3 or mas mataas pa na alert level?
When we look at our decision matrix ng alert level system po natin, very clear po, no, ang tinitingnan natin. We're looking at the 2-week growth rate, then we look at yung ADAR, or average daily attack rate. That's how many cases per 100,000 population, no? And then, after that, we look at healthcare utilization rate. So, doon po sa matrix na yan, makikita po natin kung anong alert level ang dapat nating i-classify ang isang lugar, probinsya. So yun yung ating decision matrix na sinusundan. Hindi yung buong bansa agad, no? So kami sa IATF, we will not hesitate na pag ang isang probinsya, halimbawa, ay tumama doon sa mga parameters natin for alert level 3, then we will do it. That has been the kumbaga protocol and procedure ng IATF. Gaya ng sinabi namin, we will give the general alert level system classification every 15 days. So ngayon, yung January 1 to 15. But anytime we need to escalate the alert levels for any province, we will do it, which is what we did, no, for NCR, and then later on dito sa Cavite, Rizal, and Bulacan. Meron pa tayong ibang mga probinsya na tinitingnan, no? Tinitingnan namin yung kung tatama siya dun sa parameters for alert level 3. Again, ayokong pangunahan ang IATF, but binabantayan namin, no, based on the numbers, and anytime that we feel that, anytime na tumama siya sa parameters for alert level 3 or higher, then we will immediately escalate.
Opo. And since mas nakahawa itong COVID-19 ngayon, mas tumataas na naman yung numero ng kaso, may mga ilang government workers lang, Kabsec, na nagtatanong kung napapanahon na rin ba at may chance bang maibalik din yung hazard pay for government workers?
Well, let's remember that when that was decided upon, we were under ECQ, no? And I believe MECQ din, na-cover din. That was when yung malawakang lockdowns were being done. We have thus, since then, shifted to alert level system, the highest of which is alert level system 5. So wala pa naman tayong lugar na ina-alert level system 5. And that being said, ayoko rin pangunahan, no, ano yung magiging desisyon ng Pangulo or ng Office of the President with regard to that that question, no. So let's continue to monitor whatever developments there are, but again, this is not something that we would wish to happen. And when I say that, it's not just government, hindi lamang ang inyong national government, hindi lamang ang LGUs, gaya ng sinasabi ko. At sinasabi natin parati, it's a shared responsibility. Now that we're in alert level 3, for Metro Manila, Cavite, Rizal, and Bulacan, I think that is a signal to all of us to be extra careful, extra vigilant, and ang target dapat natin is not to elevate it even higher. And as much as possible, avoid that other areas become elevated as well. No? So, yun ang target natin. Yun ang objective po nating lahat.
Opo, at panghuli na lamang, Capsec, sa mga aktibidad lang ni Pangulong Duterte, may mga inaasahan pa po ba tayong mga aktibidad niya o pupuntahang lugar? At sa Talk to the People kasi sabi po niya, dadalawin niya ulit ngayong January yung mga naapektuhan ng Typhoon Odette, bibisitahan niya ulit. Makakaapekto po ba yung tumataas na COVID-19 cases sa movement ni Pangulong Duterte? Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ba itong mga aktibidad na ito?
Well, obviously, first and foremost, we need to protect, no, the President, no? Yung kanyang safety, ang kanyang health, di ba? So, nandun naman yung mga protocols and procedures na ginagawa. So, as much as possible, we have to ensure, while ensuring his safety and his health, we also do not want to limit his movements, especially kung gusto niyang bumisita rin sa mga lugar, gaya ng sinabi niya kagabi, bumisita muli sa mga naapektuhan ng Typhoon Odette. At yung iba pang mga activities na gusto rin gawin ni Pangulo, no? As he's known to be very active president, and he wants to be always on the ground, he always wants to be with people. So we're putting the necessary protocols to protect him while as much as possible not limiting what he wants to do so that he can effectively govern as our chief executive. So the schedules, tingnan po natin, narinig natin kagabi, no, na gusto niyang bumisita muli sa mga lugar na tinamaan ng Typhoon Odette. And we are currently, kumbaga, planning his schedule.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Capsec Nogales, at sa ating mga panauhin.
Maraming salamat, Nela. Let's go back to Yusek Rocky.
Yes, thank you, Sir Karlo. Yung tanong po ni Lenes Kapanti ng GMA News Online, na tanong na po ni Melales Moras. Ang second question niya, would like to ask Pala's comment on this. CHR will pursue a creation of Human Rights Institute via legislation. Reaction daw po ng Palas.
Yes, by all means, if they want to pursue legislation, then let them do so. I just like to point out din kasi na there was a reaction about bakit na hindi siya naisama dun sa budget, no? May I state that the reason being is that as per DBM, inclusion of projects in the national budget assumes first yung project readiness. No. Secondly, that may complete estimates on costing, complete details on manpower and manning requirements. And then of course, tinitingnan din po ng DBM yung budget utilization ng agency. At tinitingnan din po kung it was requested in the first place. Meron tayong budget call na sinasagawa, dapat doon po sa budget call pa lamang ay nire-request na po ito. But if pinapasok or ini-insert sa budget, but if it is deemed a rider, then we do not want riders in the budget because the budget, as with any law, pinagbabawalan po yung mga riders. So it's much better if they pursue legislation separately from a national budget. That being said, I'd also like to point out that under the administration of President Duterte, the CHR's budget has been more than doubled. If we look at the records, from 439 million peso budget by the preceding administration in year 2016, the budget of the Commission on Human Rights has enjoyed annual increases since then. And so much so that the CHR's budget for 2021 was at 907 million pesos. So it's been enjoying an increase in their budget annually since the start of the Duterte administration.
Opo. Secretary Karlo, itanong ko na lang po muna yung tanong ni Joe Montemayor. Asking for confirmation na Laguna daw po is now under alert level 3. Any other areas po that are now under new alert level?
We will be making the announcements. No, it goes through a process. IATF has to decide. IATF, by its very nature, is interagency. So dadaan po muna yan sa IATF and then we will make the proper announcements. As of the moment, I have nothing yet to announce. As per any development on any alert level system. So hintayin na lang po natin na I or the IATF makes the proper announcement.
Opo. Tanong po ni Rose Novenario ng Hataw, pahihintulutan na ba ang pamahalaan yung pagbabalik ng ruta ng ibang bus at jeep upang hindi mahirapan ng commuters at hindi magsiksikan daw po sa limitadong public transport para maiwasan ang pagkalat ng COVID-19? Hindi ba nakikita ng IATF na super spreader ang pinagdaraan ng kalbaryo ng mga obrero araw-araw para lamang makapasok sa trabaho at makauwi sa kanilang pamilya?
As per DOTR, no, their report sa atin, sa IATF din, na sa jeepney routes in Metro Manila, operational na po ang more than 85% ng jeepney routes in Metro Manila. Ang railway lines po natin, 100% operational na po. Mas mabilis na rin po yung intervals ng mga tren natin ng MRT3 dahil mas bago po at mas napabilis na rin po ang takbo ng mga tren natin. No? And remember, the DOTR announced also that we have increased public transportation capacity to 70%. 70% na po. That being said, ang LTO, LTFRB, MMDA, and our Philippine National Police continue to do everything to ensure that lahat ng mga health protocols sa ating mga public transportations ay lahat nasusunod. No? With regard to bus terminals, which I think is one of the concerns ng ating riding public, that is something that is being actively debated upon and discussed in the IATF. Meron tayong sub-technical working group that is also concentrating on that concern. At hintayin na lang po natin ano yung maging decision ng IATF on that matter.
Thank you, Secretary Karlo.
Thank you, Yusek Rocky. Let's now go to Trish Terada ng CNN.
Hi, good afternoon, Sec Karlo, and to our guests, to you, Sec Rocky as well. Sir, dun lang po muna ko. First question could be about testing. Because ngayon nga po, dumadami yung cases. So, how does the government intend to ramp up or improve po yung testing capacity natin? Will the IATF push for yung recommendation po ni Dr. Wong to expand the use of home use, or he's encouraging the use of home use of antigen, and in a way, pinagtitignan din po ba natin yung lower COVID testing prices?
Yes, so under the discussion, the current discussion right now, even in the IATF and with our health experts, is a wider use of testing, and we'll also need FDA also to chime in on that. As far as using home test kits, what home test kits ang papayagan ng FDA, kailangan may mag-apply din for home test kits, what sort of parameters pwedeng pumasa sa batay sa FDA, no? At sa pagsusuri ng ating mga health experts, no? Wider use of antigen. And of course, the gold standard will continue to be RT-PCR. So now with this Omicron variant, and as many other countries have been looking din at home test kits, it's also something that we are also looking at. Maybe we can ask also Dr. Edsel Salvania to chime in, because he's our health expert here. Dr. Edsel?
So, thank you, Capsec. Yes, thank you, Capsec. Yeah, I mean, the antigen tests are good, lalo na yung home-administered ones, kasi then you don't have to go out and potentially infect other people when you have symptoms. But, we'll do all these. But the most important thing talaga that you can do when you are symptomatic, especially if you only have mild symptoms and you're fully vaccinated, mababa naman yung risk na you're gonna have severe symptoms, is really to stay put and not infect anybody else. Home isolate. If you need testing, there are labs that do home testing, and there are some LG